when it was time to start homeschooling my girls, I was really excited about it. I knew it was right for us. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to homeschool. But I really came at it from that educator standpoint. What I did is I took what I knew from the classroom, and that was even doing it like my way. And I know that I don't always do like what's the norm, like especially in classrooms. But in that, like I took it and I planned accordingly for my girls. And I was in for a surprise. And looking back at that now, like that hindsight, and we look back, I realized that there were things that I wish that I knew before I started homeschooling. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you for joining me today as I look at the things that I wish I knew before I started homeschooling. You see, looking back, I realized that there was plenty of research that I could have done like prior, and which is sort of really funny because I love to research. And I did research. I looked at a few things, and I really could have reached out more to others who were already homeschooling. I do want to say, I really don't think it was arrogance on my part. I knew the educational part. I knew how I could come at it. And I truly thought that, this was going to be fine. But I've learned a lot since those early days. And that's great. I mean, learning is so much. I've taken this time and I've looked at it as things have changed and we've grown and we've developed. And I love bringing some of these things to you, like what I'm learning and how it's just stirring up in me. So for those who have been watching them, I thank you. And for you who are watching today, I really do thank you as well. And, thank you for your likes and your subscribes, for sharing with your friends, and for your comments. I am a huge advocate for do what works for you. My husband sort of laughs at how often I say that, especially to parents who come to me and say, what should I do about this for my child? And about education. I'm always like, we need to do what works for you. Let's look at that and see what would work for you. How I homeschool is very different now to how I thought it was going to go. Really, it didn't take long for me to make the change. It was really just a few weeks. And in a way, it was a bit of an educator fail that I'm like, oh, my goals are further along than I thought that they were. You see, I was focused on this is what we should be doing and when, and we weren't happy and I needed to change it up. And there really were things that I wish I knew before I started. Don't listen to the shoulds. Those shoulds get us. And I heard we should be doing this and we should be doing that. And I heard it from others around me and people who even had been homeschooling, but those shoulds wore me down. Don't listen to them, okay? They just really get you down. And in that too, ignore those who don't get it. Probably those who don't get it might be your family members. And it is hard, especially when you've got this drive and this desire to be homeschooling. And again, we don't want this to get us. I let that get to me and it made me question a whole lot. And I overthink, so I overthought a lot. And I would say I wish somebody said, hey, learn about what is best for you. Find out more about your girls, find out this, again, so much research out there. There's really good information, but, wouldn't it be nice to have it all in one place? That it's okay, if we're doing what works for me and for our family, then what is it and where is that? And, I wish that there was a homeschool masterclass. There is a how to homeschool masterclass. And this is taking what I have learned, all of those different things, pulling in resources from everywhere to just hey, how can we make this do what works for you? And whether you are more, I want school at home or you want something more free, this is a course that really can work for you. It's going to take you from your whys and all the way through, get to know your children more and, then coming to what's the best curriculum for you? Because there's so many choices and just because your friends are using one, it might not be right for you. So check out the link below, the How to Homeschool Masterclass, and see, this might actually help you. I wish that I had had that. Look, mum guilt hits differently. Like that mum teacher guilt. I wasn't quite ready for that. When emotions and that sort of stuff hits me in a different way, I'm like, oh, it took me a little bit to get through because, we're already this is mum and we're around here and now we're adding teacher mum and, that guilt that pulls through. And there's so much more. And like, do I want time away from my children? Then I feel guilty about that, but I'm with them all the time. I wasn't prepared for that. Maybe we never really are. Maybe it's going to hit us differently in different ways. I also wish it was okay. I knew that it was okay to change everything that you were doing, because I did. And I felt so guilty about it. Really looking back, I don't know why. And I wish somebody had said, hey, you can go into it. And if it's not working for you, it's okay to change it. I really do wish that was there, because that would have saved like a lot of stress. And for me to just sort of step in and take ownership of like, yeah, we went from school at home to unschooling. That's a radical shift. But it took me a while to actually really come to terms with that and to fully accept what we were doing was right and how my girls were flourishing in that. And that's what really made me happy. And like that made them happy. And like this was really good. Also, I would say like, don't compare. It's really hard. We all do it. I still sometimes do it when I let those shoulds get in there, and I'm not ignoring those who don't get it. But they're doing that, and should we be? And they're doing, and how come? Let's not compare. Don't. Focus on your children and where they're at and their educational journey. I wish I'd known that it was okay to just back off, like not push like when your child hits a wall. And they're going to. Now, I'm the type of personality that like I push through something. I don't enjoy it. We push through. But I saw that like with my girls when we did that, they weren't happy and it just made things worse. Like it did affect like how we related to each other. It did affect their view of like how they are learning. And I don't want that. Like for me and my children, I don't want that for you. And I wish I'd known that, that somebody wise had said, just back off. It's okay. You can come back to it later when they are ready. Maybe they just weren't ready for it, and that is totally okay. I would also say get connected early. And from that, I'm an introvert, and so the thought of like co-ops at that first stage was like, I didn't. But then I joined one, and I wish I'd done it earlier. But, I could have also really connected more with those that I knew homeschooling. And I would say if you're not ready for a co-op, and it's totally fine if you're not, find some moms who are homeschooling so that you can connect with them, share that, be that support for each other. I also, wish that I would have been told how you and your children will clash in a different way. Like you will. This is where personalities come in. And, I'd already seen like some of the emotional clashes, but it's different when we're now coming to like learning and stuff, because you see, I like structure and things being one way. My girls do not. And, I would like to do it this way because, and they do not, and they have two separate ways. And so it's been like a bit of clash. And it's okay because this is how we learn what works for us, But, if I'd known that these sort of clashes would have come, again, because I like to be prepared, this would have really, really helped me. Now, I am so grateful really for what I've learned and am learning as I homeschool my girls. Look, I am like very thankful, like so thankful that I've been able to learn like new ways of doing it as I have researched, and I'm like, like taking that and like doing it with my girls and going, whoa, like I really wish that more people knew that. I love that I've been able to, and so thankful to find like what works for us. And I know that you will too. And if we take these things that we wish that we knew, and if you are new and you are starting out, like I say, welcome. Like this is going to be a great journey. And if some of these things will really like help you in stepping in, like that is awesome. And this is like what I want. This is why I bring these videos. And let me just say again, if you really want to be able to be set up for success and find out what's going to work for you with like your children's learning style and all these other great things, check out the How to Homeschool Masterclass, like link below. But I also want to say, I want to offer a free webinar. The link will be down below with the date that you can sign up for. And in this webinar, yes, I'm going to touch on some great things about homeschooling, things that are good to know. Yes, I will also talk a little bit more about like the How to Homeschool Masterclass and how that can serve you well. But in coming to this free webinar, you are going to be finding out some great things that will really help in homeschooling too, because really it is wonderful to have everything in one place. And, as much as possible, that is really going to help us. And so check that out. Links below. Well, thank you again for watching today, for being part of this learning life. And if you want to help get these videos out, we will gladly take that. You can do that by becoming a champion. So you can check that out at patreon.com or at my website, where you can also see the link to the How to Homeschool Masterclass, LearningThis.Life.